Hi, this is Peter Pure and I'm with James Hamill from the Hive Honey Shop in London. So let's have a little chat with James and see what he's up to. So
Hi.
James, tell us a little bit about your background. I understand you've been a honey farmer for quite a long time.
For many, many years. I come from third generation beekeepers, and my family's been beekeeping since about the 1920s. And yeah, we've had beehives, and it's always been a really important part of my life. And I've now taken up beekeeping here in the UK. We've been here for 20, 25 years, going strong here, and we've got a shop now called the Hive Honey Shop in London.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what makes the Hive Honey Shop special because you don't just do the same stuff that they do in the supermarket, do you?
No, no, we're really a very tiny artisan shop. What you'll find here is most certainly the best of the best. And one of our ethos, one of our policies, is to bring to people the quality of the honey that should be there, and not to overprocess it, not to glamorize it into some kind of visual product. Really, when we take it off the beehive, and we do this all by hand, my method has not changed since the 1920s, as my grandfather did it, as my father, and now I'm doing, and I'm now teaching my children. So we do it all by hand. There's no pasteurizing of the honey. We don't heat treat when we extract it. We do it by hand. We use a little centrifugal force which spins the honey, and it's all done in a very natural way.
Now that's something that people are going to be interested in because we're very much used to seeing a lot of honey in the supermarket and it's all the same color, it's all the same sort of fluidity or
Correct, yeah.
crystallization,
Yeah.
and it's been pasteurized. Can you tell us a little bit about why are they pasteurizing it?
Well, I guess when we say pasteurize, we just mean intense heat treating of it. So yes, that's what they'll do. They do that because most honeys are going to want to naturally set. They're going to want to naturally crystallize. There's natural crystals in honey, and what will happen is that honey will either start to kind of go really rock hard, or it might go half runny, half set. It might even stay a little bit runny. But supermarkets want it all to look absolutely uniformed, and the way to control that is to superheat it. And I can't remember the temperature. It's well above 50 Celsius. A beehive will keep its colony at about 35 Celsius. So if you really want to be sort of a Puritan about this, you don't want to exceed about 35 Celsius in temperature.
Yeah, because my understanding is that those kind of high temperatures, that's really going to kill off a lot of the enzymatic activity that's in honey.
Absolutely. Yeah, honey will never generally go off, and it's good for topically to kill germs and bacteria and to cleanse wounds. And the idea behind that is there's a natural hydrogen peroxide formula in honey, naturally. But you're absolutely right. When you start superheating honey, that kills that off. So this idea that it's going to, help your sore throat is no longer going to happen. It has to be raw honey.
I think I spent most of my childhood getting cut, and my dad would put honey on my cut. So James, if we can just have a little wander
Yeah.
over here and let's actually have a look at some of these honeys that you've got and why are they looking different? I mean, I'm looking at this honey right here. This is kind of like we've got, is that kind of crystallized
Yeah,
there and then
exactly.
separated at the top?
We're just allowing the honey to do exactly what it wants to naturally do in the jar. So in that case, I mean, come this way. I'll just show you some of the other weird and wonderful things. I mean, here these honeys are starting to do what they want to do. Here we've got slightly crystallization starting, okay? But from our point of view, you're going to eat this. So we're going to just kind of allow it to do what it wants to do. Here you've got it slightly set. And honeys, live honeys, will start to ebb and flow. Throughout the season, you'll find that maybe as the room kind of gets a little bit warmer, this honey will kind of change in texture. So the difference between, like, say, a set honey and a runny honey like that is not that this one's going to be sweeter. A lot of people associate this texture because they think of sugar. That's another big no-no. There's never it's illegal to adulterate or add anything to honeys. In other countries, there's a practice where they will add sugar, but this is highly illegal, and in the UK, you'd never do that. So we just want to really ensure that this is as healthy and as natural as possible. And we get a lot of people who are using it for a variety of things. Like I say, the National Health Service are using it topically for wounds at the moment. So that was really good. I loved seeing that because I was campaigning for years because I knew it worked as a solve for both burns and for leg ulcers and wounds. but it took years for it to finally, for scientists to kind of research it and finally come to the point where they accepted that this is, you know, it in fact does work.
But for that to be actually be applicable, it has to be the raw honey. You can't have a shop bought,
Absolutely.
pasteurized, overheated honey.
Absolutely, because one of the things that will come to the forefront is it can then become septic, because you've got a honey that's not naturally killing off all of the bacteria. It kills its natural hydrogen peroxide levels. So you're absolutely right. If you were to, I'd be very careful putting it topically on a wound if it was just like a bulk standard honey that you're getting from a supermarket. That stuff is fine for cooking, but I wouldn't really want to use it for health reasons.
Do you know of any other health properties of honey that's good for?
Well, you know, I get a lot of people that come to me, they've got stomach complaints, stomach ulcers. Again, honey, I don't know how it neutralizes it. It neutralizes the enzymes or something in the gut. That's obviously helps. As a rule, we're finding the darker honeys, and I don't know why, I think it has HMF levels are much higher in the darker honeys. So maybe as a key rule, if you're looking specifically for something like that, go for a slightly darker honey.
Okay, and just to wind up, can you can you tell us a little bit about who your honey producers are? Because it's not these mixed floral honeys that are like come off these massive farms and you get like 300 tons of it. So who are your producers and what kind of quantities are we talking about?
Again, we started one of the kind of first fair trade systems here in the UK. We hear a lot about fair trade to third world countries, but really what we want to do is provide beekeepers here in the UK with a means to bring their honeys to market. So we'll test them. We'll make sure that they're proper and the best of the best. But we've been supporting beekeepers all around. So we have some of the honeys are supplied to us from little hobbyist beekeepers. They might come in with 2 buckets of honey. We'll have 60 buckets of this particularly wonderful honey, and we'll put it on the shelves. It helps to pay for this beekeeper's hobby and keeps it going. Some of them, I'll bring you over here. This is a particular interest. This we've been doing in the family for since about the 1950s, because hey, again, pollen, if you've got a natural allergy to pollen, it's because you're inhaling airborne pollen and it upsets your respiratory system. And we're getting a lot of people as a knock-on effect then that gives them asthma. And so, but how often are people actually eating pollens, specific pollens that are in the UK? So we're getting a lot of people who either later in life are getting almost a toxicity to pollen because they're inhaling it, or we get people from abroad moving to Britain, never having British pollens ever in contact with, and of course they come down with the symptoms of hay fever. So what we've got is we've got special traps in our beehives, and we're trapping the fresh pollen from the hives. We're then taking the honey and we're doing it as raw as possible. We do a very minimal amount of filtering with it. We don't heat treat it, and then we mix this all together with fresh royal jelly. And that has been, it's been so successful for people who have been suffering from hay fever. We get loads and loads of people coming back to us, and the reports have been just fantastic.
Okay, great. Now, you don't just sell honey here. You sell so everything to do with bees, isn't it? So can you tell us a little bit about what else is available here other than just honey?
Well, we sell all the protective clothes, so you can start up your own beekeeping. We sell the beehives themselves. We've got beehives.
Okay, so have a look at this beehive right here.
We got a beehive here. We've got a beehive over here. This is a standard
check out the
beehives.
beehive.
So again, we're supporting beekeepers. We've got a whole variety of little things here. We've got the smokers, the gloves. So you can pretty much come in here and you can get yourself set up. We actually breed bees as well. We do a special breed of bee called the buckfast bee from beautiful history of beekeeping from a chap called Brother Adam, who I was lucky enough to meet before he passed away, of Buckfast, and he developed a special strain of bee specifically for the British Isles, and that bee we now are carrying on that pedigree.
And do you also teach people about beekeeping? We
do beekeeping courses. We do weekend courses starting in April. It's a 2-day course. You do a practical Saturday, and then you do a theoretical Saturday and then a practical Sunday. And under supervision, we then let everybody open up a beehive, and you get involved, and you get to open up a beehive and see what it's all about. It's really a good foundation for taking up beekeeping in the future. Okay,
so just we've got a few seconds left of the video. I just want to show a few things. This is a little sampling bench, so you can come here and have a little test of all sorts of things.
Yeah.
There's some really wonderful honeys.
And these are our international sections.
There was one here that I was really particularly taken in by. This is honey with rum-soaked raisin in there, and then this mead we've got over here. and it's got pollen and royal jelly and propolis.
We got all our
And
bee
yeah, it's
books.
got like a whole pile of bee books and bee paraphernalia. So, oh, we're running out of time. Just one last thing.
Yeah.
How can people get hold of you?
Just give us go to our website, www.thehivehoneyshop.co.uk, or telephone us on 0207 924 6233.
Okay, thank you ever so much.
My pleasure.